أهلا وسهلا بكم مشاهدينا، وعظم الله لكم الأجر بذكرى استشهاد أبا عبد الله الامام الحسين عليه السلام. سنتحدث اليوم عن موضوع رمزية الامام الحسين بمشاركة الأستاذ علي الجاف، ويكون باللغه الانكليزيه.
Welcome to our audience and kind regards to all of you in this important and silent occasion. May Allah rule well in the memory of Imam Hussein. This memory is the memory of Sayyidam and his home, the man of humanity. We are going to talk today about the symbolism of Imam Hussein and his mission with my colleague Hamza Al-Zargani, and this topic will be in English.
What is Imam Hussein victory?
In fact, Imam Hussein represents different important elements in our life and in all human beings' life. Because Imam Hussein is not for the Muslims only, he is the man who sacrificed in his life in order to show others who were tyrant, snobbish, arrogant and unjust. He tries to put the right things in their places and get the things that support those who are in need for help. At the time of the revolution of Imam Hussein, there was a man who was tried to take the rights of people, and by doing bad things, but at the same time he was not allowing to all people to practice, do their rituals, their things that are used to do according to Holy Quran and according to important principles in life that are put by our Prophet Muhammad, who is the grand mother of Imam Hussein. So Imam Hussein revolted at that time against all these bad things in order to put justice at its place and get the rights to people who were calling for someone to save their life and gets back their rights.
Yes.
So the victory is not represented by blood only. The victory is how to show people in all the previous and the present time that life needs someone who could sacrifice in his life to save the rights and to get back to support poor. And at the time of Imam Hussein, there was a tyrant man who is Yazid, who was taking the things from people without their permission, without their acceptance. So Imam Hussein gets back their loyalty, their rights, their life, and tries to set forward some principles so people can follow them in order to make life according to our Prophet Muhammad.
Yes.
Who is the messenger of God, of Allah. Yes, sir.
Yes, also what is the main source of force in the Imam Hussein?
Of course, if we get back to the history, we see our Prophet Muhammad is the messenger of God who tries to protect our Holy Quran and the advices, as well as he tries to apply what our God wants us to do. At the same time, he makes different educational lessons, moved from areas to areas in order to advise people, call people to enter into Islam. All these things have happened within the time of our Prophet Muhammad, and then this message has got its importance and its acceptance in the community, and many people enters Islam. After that, the father of Imam Hussein is Ali ibn Abi Talib, who married the daughter of our Prophet, Fatima, and Imam Hussein is the son of Fatima, so he gets all these sources of, let us say, he gets all the knowledge, education, information concerning religion, Islam, importance of them, and how people could get justice. So the main source is from Allah, and then from our Holy Quran, and from his Prophet Muhammad. But at the same time, within the period of Imam Hussein, there was a ruler who tries to set things badly, and he rejected them, rebelled against them, and tries to get the human rights back, and at the same time to make the message and the mission of Islam moved to many areas. So he tries to apply what our God wants us to do, and at the same time he helps him to get supporters and to get people to succeed and get victory against all his enemies.
Yes. Also, why do people love Imam Hussein?
Imam Hussein could not be mentioned in some words or in some phrases or sentences. Imam Hussein represents humanity, represents the idea of being a man or a human, and at the same time he tries to show tyrant people, people who cannot follow his principles, that life needs to be set according to our Holy Quran principles, because they are the right things and they are the things that set from Allah. But the main, or why do people love? People love him because he sacrifices in his life, and he sacrifices in all his family in order to make Islam continuous, and at the same time to make the message address all the parts and elements, so that people could see a leader or an exemplary element could be shown within action. At the present time, we see a lot of people say speeches without action, but yes, Imam Hussein shows people actions without showing them speeches and proverbs, because sometimes people need things to agree about, and he was determined. He was a leader, a ruler, a person with all the good principles, and he also shows the things not only for the communities outside Islam, but he tries at first, shows to his followers and those people who support him in order to make his mission succeed. So all the people with him believed at that time in what he was doing.
Yes.
So love is not a word that could be expressed in some expressions. Love is an inner thing. It is a passion that could be mentioned or described by the person himself to reflect his faith. So love means faith. If you talk about love, it means you faith in the mission of Imam Hussein. You love him because you have seen what he had done or what they have done in order to make us live, because there were rights, things taken from people by a tyrant man, and he gets them back to them. This is one element. There was an important and necessary and essential things need to be sent for his family, but the tyrant prevent them to arrive, like water. Yazid prevents water from Imam Hussein, but he sacrifices in all his family, in all the things that he had, in order to make the mission and life as better as he could at that time. So his love is an inner thing. It connected with passion, emotion. It is not a simple love. It is a spiritual love.
Yes. Yes. Does the sacrifice of Imam Hussein?
This is important side of the story of Imam Hussein. Sacrifice is a big word. If we talk about this word as it is, people might understand that we are now talking about blood, killing, or the things that show the ugly side of sacrifice. No, the idea of martyrdom and the idea of sacrifice, the idea of humanity, they are related to things. So he sacrifices in his life and all is his home to show people that things cannot be get unless he gives his life. So life of a person and his family is not as simple as we can describe or talk about. It means the end of life of a person. So he gives his life, and he is a member of a sacred family, an important family, the family that mentioned in our Holy Quran, the family that mentioned by our God Allah, talks about them and praises them. And when we talk about sacrifice, we are referring to the idea of freedom, saving life of people, getting out or stopping poverty, getting back rights to people, stopping the works and efforts of a tyrant man, and at the same time setting principles and instructions with education to people to follow them.
Yes.
So he sacrifices in his life not for a specific period of time. No, it is for all eras and all periods, because people, when they talk about Imam Hussein nowadays, they can remember how he gives his last son, Ali al-Akbar, who was we could say he was very young and unable to fight, but he sacrifices by his son Ali al-Akbar in order to get his mission succeeded. So success in this battle could be represented in three elements: the idea of freedom, the idea of martyrdom, the idea of getting rights back to its people. So sacrifice does not mean blood. Sacrifice means how could you give all the things you have in order to make mission succeeded.
Yes, yes. Where can you apply Imam Hussein principles?
Principle, yes, this is a good question. If we talk about
Yes.
the idea of application and principles, we are talking about how could we make the mission of Imam Hussein continues to new generation and the next one. So Imam Hussein needs from us to understand his case in all its elements. So the idea of application of Imam Hussein principle, or the idea of applying the principles of Imam Hussein, is one element. If we look at the revolution as a whole, we cannot determine one element and leave the other, because the story is well done and well achieved and well formed. Why? Because this mission needs to be continued. So if I need, for example, to continue a project, I have to put rules, instructions, and ideas, opinions for people to follow them. So Imam Hussein puts for us principles as instructions, as educational points to be followed, like humanity, to be human with all the people, to help those who are in need for help. This is one element. Imam Hussein tries to free those who were unable to express about their voice, ideas, their needs, their requests. So he stands with them in order to get back their rights. Also, the principles must be understood and must be applied. If we get the information of the story, of the victory, of all the theme, so we could apply all of these things. But application alone cannot be succeeded without a real understanding for the story, real understanding for the mission. The inner elements is different from the outer elements. We as people, as Muslims, also the others who do not follow our religion, have understand the story of Imam Hussein because it moves the passion and it talks about real action, facts that happened at that time. So application also needs different projects, different programs. Especially nowadays, we are really in need for the principles of Imam Hussein concerning the condition of our young people, concerning women rights, stopping many social phenomena that are bad. Imam Hussein tried to be a man who solve all the problems at his time, and some of them needs to be understood and studied and analyzed well. So needs real faith and real people to apply his principles.
Yes, in the end, thank you, Mr. Ali Al-Jaff.
Thank you very much, and I would express my honor to be with you, and I'm very thankful for you for this opportunity to talk about a great man. He is the man of all generation, and at the same time I would advise all the people to follow Imam Hussein's principles and instructions in order to live peacefully, because he is the man of peace. He is the man of rights. He is the man of humanity. Thank you very much.
Thank you.